Ladies and gentlemen, please welcome Jack Hyland, co-chair of the Teachers College Board of Trustees.
Good afternoon. As co-chair of the Board of Trustees of Teachers College, I have the honor of officially opening today's ceremony. By the way, please sit down. Sorry. On behalf of the entire community of TC, as we celebrate our 125th anniversary this year, we welcome you to the 2013 Masters Convocation. It's now my great pleasure to introduce the President of Teachers College, Susan H. Fuhrman.
Good afternoon, and welcome to the most joyous occasion on the calendar of Teachers College, when we honor the talented, energetic, and dedicated men and women who are ready to lead the charge into the future. Congratulations, graduates. Now, mind you, you're not officially a graduate until tomorrow, when I beseech President Bollinger to grant you the awards to which you are entitled. But let's celebrate anyway. You made it. And let's have a big hand of applause to the families, children, spouses, extended families, relatives, and everybody else who made that possible. And an especially big hand of applause to the people at TC, the faculty and the staff who support them, who made this possible for you. This is a wonderful day to reflect on what you've accomplished at TC and to look ahead to what you hope to achieve in the years to come. And of course, this is a day to celebrate. You're graduating during a milestone year for Teachers College, our 125th anniversary. We're marking this anniversary all year long in events here at Teachers College and around the world. But I think the 125th is especially meaningful today as we launch another group of exceptional graduates into the world. I want you to know that you stand on the shoulders of giants, the leaders and the pioneers who have walked the halls of TC over the decades and have helped change the world in so many ways. I'm particularly awed by the brilliance and insight of our founders and early leaders who nurtured this institution as a world-renowned center of new ideas, practices, and fields of inquiry. In fact, TC's visionaries also provided the blueprint for subsequent schools of education. As graduates, you can rightly be proud of the far-reaching influence of your alma mater. You are the heirs to the vision of our first dean, James Earl Russell, who called for, quote, training which would enable the student to see the relationships existing everywhere in the various fields of knowledge, even the unity of all knowledge, end quote. What a marvelous way to describe the education you have received here, and how fitting that Russell's vision is even more relevant today in our hyper-connected and turbocharged world. We need more than ever to seek knowledge, understanding, and connection. This is the TC way. I urge you to continue to put Russell's vision into action in whatever you do and wherever your sphere of influence may be, whether it be one child or an entire nation. As you go into the world armed with your TC degree, I also want you to take pride in our legacy of firsts. It's a long list, and it continues to grow. Consider some of the fields that started here: educational psychology, social studies, urban education, gifted education, conflict resolution, nursing education, dance education, nutrition education, arts education, international and comparative education, spirituality and psychology, and special education. TC also granted the first graduate degrees in physical education and had the first School of Education program in computing and education. And remember that TC is the birthplace of the community school, the scholarly textbook, the yellow school bus, and the song Happy Birthday. Just as TC graduates helped shape the 19th and 20th centuries, so too will you have a lasting impact on this still young century. I'm confident you will lead the way toward a better future and create your own legacy of firsts with a distinctly 21st century twist. I expect the legacy to continue with impressive graduate students like Benjamin Pass, who will receive his master's degree today from a unique program at TC, Science and Dental Medicine Education. This program allows students to become dentists through the Columbia University School of Dentistry and at the same time attain a master's degree at TC in dental education. The dual degree is a perfect fit for Pass. Having experienced learning difficulties himself, he has created a specialization within the dental and dental education programs. If approved, this specialization will prepare dental students to treat patients with special learning needs. Pass is also a graduate of the U.S. Air Force Academy, and he has 8 years of military service ahead of him. He hopes to practice general dentistry for a year with a focus on special needs and poor and minority patients, and then teach dentistry to individuals who share his desire to help underserved communities. Pass is another TC visionary who will use his education and talents to create a new area of study that will benefit a previously neglected group of patients. At commencement time, we often talk about students who go on to pursue their dreams. Cindy Bendezu Palomino is a dreamer in another sense of the word. She's a strong advocate for passage of the DREAM Act, which would grant a permanent path to citizenship to many undocumented immigrants like her who have graduated from U.S. schools. Cindy was a high-achieving high school student in Los Angeles whose dream of attending UCLA had to be deferred because she couldn't receive financial aid as an undocumented immigrant from Peru. And without a Social Security number, she could not accept the National Merit Scholarship she had earned through her high test scores. But Cindy was undaunted. She attended community college and worked 2 jobs until she had enough money to attend UCLA. Along the way, Cindy met other undocumented students and became involved in efforts to pass the DREAM Act. While the act has not yet been passed, thanks to Cindy and her fellow dreamers, President Obama signed a memo making it possible for many undocumented young people to obtain 2-year work authorization and a stay of deportation. For the first time in her life, Cindy has been able to receive financial aid, and she and her parents have become permanent residents in the United States. Today, she receives her master's degree in higher and post-secondary education. She hopes to teach, work for a think tank, and conduct research on undocumented students. She believes the issue of access to higher education is the key to Latinos and students from other backgrounds gaining full acceptance and equal standing in American society. Or, as Cindy says of President Obama's executive order, it was a big moment for us. We weren't afraid anymore. Brava, Cindy. Keep up the good fight. There are so many more wonderful stories like this among our graduates. You've engaged in research, learning, practice that's helping to change lives, work that will resonate after you leave here today. So I expect great things from you. As TC graduates, you are uniquely prepared to meet the complex and often confounding challenges we face in our city, our nation, and our world. The challenges are very similar to those at the time of TC's founding. Industrialization and technology were creating both vast wealth and deep economic uncertainty. A vast new influx of people was pouring into the U.S. from nations around the world. Communities were grappling with issues of health, race relations, education, and crime. Sound familiar? Clearly, we have much more work ahead. We must transform our schools to ensure every child has access to an excellent education. We must harness the power of technology and exciting new research on how the mind works to support more effective learning. We must help shape policy and practice on physical and mental health to address the most pressing needs in our communities, and so much more. TC has given you a strong foundation. Now it is up to you to put your own visions into action. This is your time to seize, your moment to make a difference. Despite daunting challenges, I know you can do this. As you go forth from here today, I urge you to honor the spirit of TC in all that you do. I want to leave you with the words of one of our founders, Nicholas Murray Butler, who wrote during another time of tremendous change and challenges, quote, "Optimism is essential to achievement, and it is also the foundation of courage and true progress," end quote. Remember his words and look to the future with optimism and the courage to change the world. Thank you. We've now reached the moment in this ceremony when we honor an extraordinary individual whose life's work has advanced the cause of education while upholding TC's core mission to foster excellence and equity in the fields we serve. Among those honored at past ceremonies were Archbishop Desmond Tutu, Coretta Scott King, Senator George Mitchell, Pete Seeger, Tom Sobel, Lee Shulman, Gail Collins, Spike Lee, Linda Darling-Hammond, and many others. This year, we're honoring 3 eminent exemplars. This morning, New York State Board of Regents Chancellor Meryl Tisch received a medal. Tomorrow, Lee Sing Kong, the director of Singapore's National Institute of Education, will be honored. And this afternoon, we are about to honor journalist and author Thomas Friedman. It's now my pleasure to introduce our Provost and Dean Thomas James to begin that honor.